Hello YouTube. I wanted to talk about three things: bullying, the gay lifestyle, and teen suicide. And they're all related under the umbrella of homosexuality in this discussion, this conversation. Let me tell you where I stand first off. I do not believe in the gay lifestyle. However, I believe that every human being has the right to be treated with respect regardless of their sexual orientation. Okay, so that's where I stand. I was watching CNN earlier, and Larry King, and they had some panelists on, and one thing they were talking about was the suicide rate for teens who are gay. And they said that is 4 times the rate than heterosexual teens. So I decided to, search on the internet and see, what the other statistics were, because it amazes me how now they're talking about teen suicide because it's gays committing suicide. Teens have been committing suicide every day and in large numbers, for decades. And I have not seen one show recently that just talks about teen suicide in general. Okay, and what are you going to do about that? And so I think the highlighting gay teen suicide is really taking it out of proportion, as to the suicide rate. And you also read that usually the teens who attempt suicide or commit suicide is usually because of alcoholism in the family, depression, or mental disorder, whatnot. So I just think it's highly suspect to only highlight teen suicide when you have some gays that commit suicide, when in reality there are teens with all kinds of issues committing suicide, and that is what really needs to be addressed, the issues. There are non-homosexual teens who have self-acceptance issues and self-esteem issues, who are also committing suicide, who feel ashamed for whatever reason, or who feel like they've done something wrong and it's unforgivable. So I think it's unfair just to highlight this because, some groups are really wanting to highlight the acceptance of and justify the gay lifestyle. Okay, so that's on teen suicide. The next one is on bullying. I also see now that every negative behavior is being thrown under the umbrella of a bullying or bully. And I remember when I was coming up as a kid, a bully was defined as someone who forced another to do something that they did not want to do. Okay, whether that doing something meant doing nothing when that other person wanted to actually do something, and then there being negative consequences if that person didn't follow the orders, like they may get beat up. That was bullying. But today they say, well, calling names is bullying. Talking about that person to another is bullying. Frowning at that person is bullying. I mean, everything under the sun negative is bullying, especially when it comes to gay children. And again, here we go. Bullying is only being highlighted because of they're highlighting how it affects gay children. Well, there are millions of children who are not gay who are also bullied. Okay, and the core foundation for it is the same. Either the person the person who's actually doing the bullying, I'm going to go with the traditional definition, because otherwise, if we go with the everything under the umbrella, that we don't like as a bullying, then we got a whole bunch of adults in high places, in our executive branch of government and everywhere else, who are bullies. Matter of fact, you could almost say 90% of the population is a bully, if you want to go by the definitions that they're using today, because people talk about each other. They talk about each other behind their back. um, they do things that may hurt another. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily putting their hands on them, but in the business world and playing politics and things like that, that would be considered bullying too. Or giving someone the silent treatment, or avoiding it, which is really occurs in the workplace and whatnot. So all of that is bullying. That all would be considered bullying, when in reality, bullying is just making someone do something they don't want to do, and harming them in some way if they don't do it. So, and I agree that should be stopped. So the bully itself, who is the bully? What is the bully? Is this bully a bad person, someone to be shunned, from society? No. And we're going to go to little kids, down even to preteen years, who may be bullying. And you'll often find out that they're doing it because, one, they don't know better. Two, they've seen it modeled in their own family. Three, they have not learned how to accept not attaining something that they want yet. Four, they haven't learned how to ask for something, and deal with the rejection, possibility of not getting it. Five, they may be acting out their own issues that they're having at home or within themselves. Okay, so there's several reasons, and really to address bullying, and begin to solve the true problem, is to get at the root causes, of bullying behavior. And 9 times out of 10, you'll find out that, wow, this person who we call a bully is actually hurting too. And this is the route that they've expressed. So yes, we need to stop this type of behavior, but at the same time, let's not label this person negatively, okay? Because the person is not all bad, but he has a behavior that's not acceptable. And let's deal with what's going on with this person that is causing